Welcome, everybody, to the Spawn of Me podcast. This is episode 204. I'm your host, Kahlief Adams, and I'm joined this week and every week with my man, my mellow, the smooth kind of fellow, the man who is fighting the cold with his bare hands. It is Cicero Holmes. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm out there like Jon Snow. I'm out there fighting those White Walkers. Actually, low key, I am just surrounded by White Walkers. I call them neighbors.
Oh God, is that how that goes?
Yeah.
Just calling them neighbors now.
Neighbors, yeah. I mean, they're white and they walk, so they're White Walkers.
Oh shit!
All of my neighbors are White Walkers. Now, you know what? I just today had to tell. So today it was a warm day. It was, I think the high was 28 degrees before the wind chill. I think it felt like it was around 14 degrees, which for those of you who are in places where you use Celsius and you use the metric system, that is negative 10. So it was negative 10 degrees outside today. And one of my neighbors was wearing shorts.
Wow.
And I admonished him by saying, hey, put some pants on.
It's cold as shit. His
response to me was, never.
Wow. I did. You know what? I had a boss.
White Walkers.
I had a boss that I used to work for, and it would be, I used to work on the Lower East Side. No, actually, it was in
LES.
Soho. It was in Soho. It was down in Soho at a police and fireman store where they sold paraphernalia, and they showed merchandise and memorabilia and stuff like that.
Okay.
And my boss never wore pants. It was all kinds of weather. He always wore shorts. He never wore freaking pants. And I was like, how? I'm in a bubble jacket and you have no pants on. What is going on out here in the world? I don't know.
Yeah, he was. You remember the Slops the Slasher? He was the shopkeep flasher.
Oh my God. He was like, yo, I got this. I don't know what y'all talking about, but I got this. No worries. So we are missing two of the crew this week. As you can see underneath me, Reef he doesn't care. He's just here in spirit, not even paying attention to any of us. He's just reading his tablet when he was at NASA. Not even looking at us, he's like, I don't care. I'm just reading this stuff like y'all don't hear. Tanya is now in cartoon form in the other section of the Twitch stream.
That's what happens when you're flying home. You just turn into a cartoon.
You just turn into a cartoon character.
Yeah, you become animated because you're dead inside as you're flying on a flight, unless you're flying business and or first class.
Totally. Yeah, that was me. That was me last week flying across country to get things done. And it took cross country flights are no fun. I forgot how far it is from one side of the country to the other. Yeah, and I don't like it. I don't want to ever. Well, that's not true. I do want to do it again. I just don't want to do it again soon.
Yeah,
because that thing fucks with your body and your brain.
It does. Well, wait for Elon Musk. He'll build the channels, and we'll be able to cart across all sorts of stretches of land at 1,000 miles per hour.
The weird thing is Elon Musk, everyone's like, yo, Elon Musk, can you make all the cool technology and do all the cool stuff? But they all want him to do technology that we've already got. And it's build the railroads, build new roads, build new cars. I'm like, I want you to make a teleportation device. I want the Fulton teleportation device that they had in MSG5. That's the one I want. I want the one so I can teleport a goat.
So you want a fulcrum things? You just want to attach a bungee cord to something, and a balloon just pops up, and they just fly off into the stratosphere.
Yes, that's exactly what I want. I want that to be the thing.
And they land on an oil derrick. Yeah, just somewhere
in a random ass tanker. just for the sake of it.
Yeah, somewhere in the Mediterranean Ocean.
Oh God, yeah. And then you have random people try to steal your shit.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That may happen.
Yeah, well, fuck your fulcrum.
That was hashtag fuck your fulcrum 2018. We got to thank everybody for listening to the show last week.
Yes.
Thank you so much for checking out the show. Thank you everyone for coming by the Twitch stream and hanging out. Absolutely must give everyone a huge thanks for hanging out with us during Spawn for Good 4.
Yes.
Doing that work, trying to get some love to the folks over Black Girls Code. Again, thank you, C, for participating. That was almost a word.
Yes.
Shout out to Reef for streaming for almost 36 hours over the weekend.
Oh my gosh, he's a monster.
He's a monster. He is amazing. Mad love to him for getting things together and putting it together and all that stuff. And wow, that was a really loud thing that just popped up on my recording. Anyway,
all right.
You'll probably hear that at home. That's all. That's Windows being like, yeah, we knew that you weren't on your computer for like at least a month.
Right.
So yeah, this is episode 204. Again,
it is.
Super excited to have you all here, both in podcast land and on Twitch. We have some cool stuff this week that we want to get into.
Before we get into it,
sure.
I just want to say that it is also the 4th anniversary of this show.
Oh, that's right.
This week.
That's right.
This week, I think it might have actually been like today or yesterday. I think the 21st is the first episode was published, but the first episode was recorded with you and me. About 4 years ago.
Yeah, man. It was many things have transpired since then.
That is correct, sir.
We have become the preeminent show on the podcasts for Black folks and people of color talking about video games and never let anyone tell you any different. Anybody,
damn right.
You see those damn top 10 Black podcasts, you better shout us out. You see them joints on Black Girl Nerds and all those other lists, you better shout us out. You see Fan Bros making cool stuff, you better shout us out on Fan Bros too. I don't care where you go, everywhere you go, people want to know how you feel.
Right. Yeah. And what their name is Bricago.
Is Bricago.
Right. Bricago is the place. Even on non-Black shows, you got Asian podcasts. Shout us out.
Word. I thought you were gonna keep going with
podcasts in general. Shout us out.
Word.
Like, yeah.
Shout us out. I mean, shout us out.
We that's what we do.
I want to see Bricago on Ellen giving away switches. That's what I want.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Right. Dancing with Twitch.
Dancing with
Twitch on Twitch.
We have something to talk about in that respect too towards the end of the show. But word, we have a lot of cool stuff this week. There's been a lot of news this week actually that's been kind of fun to talk about. And then after the break, we're going to get into a little bit of reminiscing about our predictions that we had since we're now in the new year. Of stuff that we talked about in 2017 coming true in 2018. And we're going to see how many of those things we got right. So, and what we got wrong, which is never for me because I never get things wrong.
Yeah, I tabulated everything. So
yeah, he just gave me the like.
Yeah. Well.
So one of the things that just dropped in the past 24 hours, I think it was 24 to 48 hours. Nintendo teased some new addition to the Switch family or some new version of a thing that will let you play your Switch in a different way. Right. And everybody lost their minds. Everybody was freaking out. People were like, what the hell is this going to be with the Switch? Because if you paid attention to the show or paid attention to some of the stuff that we've been tweeting out about, they have been having the best year ever in terms of sales, in terms of kind of mind share, in terms of all that stuff. They've been doing phenomenally in that space. And they dropped something that is, I didn't expect this to happen, but the thing that they dropped was the Nintendo Labo.
Yes.
So the Nintendo Labo, it's Do you want to explain what the Labo is to folks? Did you get a chance to see any of this stuff?
Yeah, so I mean, I did. I didn't see like the full Nintendo Direct out of New York, but I did see. I did read a bunch of articles, and I did see their trailer. It is, it's basically cardboard.
Right.
So you make DIY, and so they call it DIY stuff, because you get cardboard and you put it together.
Right.
But they predetermine what the things will be beforehand. So it's not like you could take an Amazon box and make the Amazon box into a thing and then fit the Joy-Cons in there. What they call them are toy cons. Exactly. With the cardboard. So we got to see a bunch of different demos. There was a fishing reel with a telescopic reel with a string that was attached to it that goes to the Switch. There was a piano with 13 keys on it. There was a robot. There's an RC car. And there were a couple of other things. The people that were in New York actually at the event got to assemble certain things and then play with many more. So I think they were able to assemble the robot and the RC car. And they said it took, it took less time than they thought it would take. They were able to assemble the fishing reel, and that took about 15 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that the rest of them took less time than that. But they said it was incredibly fun to put that stuff together and to actually play with it. So each Toy-Con comes with a game associated with it that you play on the Switch. You fit your Joy-Cons, the Joy-Con into the Toy-Con. I hate you, Nintendo. And then you can play whatever the mini game is, whatever the game that is associated with that Toy-Con, and have a blast with it. This will be coming out on April 20th, and there are 2 kits that they have ready for pre-order. Oh yeah, there's like a giant robot that you put a proton pack on your back.
Yeah. And
you've got like fake VR, like Google goggles, glasses on your face, and you're like a robot and you're destroying shit and you're doing all this stuff. So there's 2 kits. At least there are 2 kits that I saw that were available. One was $69.99. That was the variety kit, which has a house that you can color the house and customize it. The house, RC cars, fishing rod, motorbike, and the piano. And then the big robot, giant proton pack robot suit costs $79.99.
Wow.
So, and it's just the cool robot suit, in quotes, directly from Nintendo. Pre-orders have begun, and it's of course, because it's Nintendo, it's gonna sell out. Kyle, what did you think? I've got thoughts. Do you want me to give my thoughts first, or do you want to give your thoughts first?
No. Keep going. I want to hear what you have to think about this stuff.
So I personally think that it's apropos that this product is being released on April 20th, because if you know, April 20th is also 420. You've got to be high as a kite in order to think that this is a good idea. It's going to sell incredibly well. Of course it is. But like, so you put the thing together, right? So you put the kits together, right? You get the little cardboard and you play with it for 5 minutes, and you're like, "Oh, that was fun. That was a fun time." And and preferably, optimally, you're putting it together you've got your friends around. You said, "Hey, I got that Labo thing."
Labo.
I got that Labo. You put it together with your friends, and you guys all play the games, and you do all that stuff, right? And you have fun for like 2 hours. Then you put it away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then when you come back to play it again, it's fucking broken because it's made out of fucking cardboard. Like, what do you think is going to happen when the time comes to pull this shit out again? Like, come on, guys. So the brilliance of Nintendo is they've made these things that cost, next to nothing. They're charging people a fair amount of money, but far more than they're worth. Like all the other products that I think the Switch, all the Switch accessories that have come out so far, and far be it from me to criticize the all-powerful Switch. We cower in fear from your majesty, but you're gonna play with it, then you're gonna put it away, and then when you go to pull it out again, it's gonna be broken. It's gonna be broken. Like, there's no way. These things are too big. And if you saw the robot is kind of flimsy. The RC car is kind of flimsy. They work. They're cool. But like, you can't store that shit. Like, you can't store that in a, you know how you're going to store them? You're going to spend $49.99 for the Labo storage kit directly from Nintendo. And that's how you're going to be able to store those. I'm not even going to talk about the cool robot suit that you get for $79.99. Where the hell are you going to put that big ass box? I hope you don't have pets. Because those are going to belong to your pets after you played with them once.
I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that at all.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
I can see it now. The Labo vomit box.
Yeah. Or
hairballs in it.
Right. Exactly. The Labo scratching post. It's cardboard. It's cardboard, ladies and gentlemen. It's cardboard.
Well, one of the things I tweeted out was this is going to be a really interesting time for parents, because you're going to have the parent who can afford to get a Labo thing for their folks. But then you're going to have the folks who are going to be like, yo, if I put markers and color this McDonald's box, I will totally be able to get away with getting this thing for my kid that doesn't do anything. It's going to be a lot of... Think about all the bootleg rock band stuff that used to be out there in the world.
Yes. Yo, I cannot wait for... I can't wait to go on 33rd Street and see an African dude in tuxedo shoes with the cabos for Nintendo. And it's, it's going to be like Project Tenement Building, cardboard joint, and it's gonna be like the elevator's not gonna work.
Stupid.
Listen.
There's a couple of things. Yes to everything that you said, because that's gonna be. I didn't think about the pet angle, and we have pets in our home, so that I know already. Right. Everything is gonna be broken if you leave it around. You're gonna need to like lock up your Labos. Right. And make sure that you have stuff in a place that nobody else can touch it or get to it. Second of all, shame on Nintendo for not TMing Co-Labo as a thing that you could have done with this system of new hardware. Yes. Do you even categorize it as hardware because it's cardboard?
It's Because
think about it, because what do you call it? Did that? Google Cardboard or whoever.
Yeah, Google Cardboard. Yeah,
like they did their own version of that. You stick tech into cardboard stuff that makes it into actual usable gear. Mm-hmm. But the thing that there's so many weird aspects to this, and mind you, I think it's really smart. Like, I like to see Nintendo kind of going in this completely opposite direction of saying, you want 4K, you want the best bitrate, VR, fuck you. We're going to go straight back to paper and pen and cardboard and just say F it and don't care, which is interesting. Right. But I do think that it's like, I feel like this is another version of Wii Sports where it's like this interesting one-trick pony that unless you can program into it multiple applications and multiple uses, it's going to get really boring really quick, and you're just going to then have all this random cardboard shit around your crib trying to figure out what you're going to do with it.
No, you won't.
Why?
You won't have random cardboard because that shit's going to be broken and thrown away. Like you will get one if you are meticulous with it. 2 uses tops out of most of those things.
I'm afraid for people who are like clumsy, or
Right.
like people who are like prone to just dropping shit and stepping on
Right.
stuff. Like
Right.
you can't have babies around this stuff.
Oh, because they're gonna drool on it.
No, they're gonna drool on it. They're just gonna step on it and they're gonna lay on it
Right.
and sit on it, and
Right. Well,
everybody's
yeah.
gonna like mess it up.
Yeah. I mean, but that's you're just as likely. Like I said, it's going to be released on 420. If you are celebrating like you should, you're going to play with it. You're going to put it together, and then you're going to space out as you're eating Doritos, and you're going to step on it.
Oh, wait a minute!
Right after you're done. Okay.
Two things. One,
Right.
I want to give a quick shout out to Catatonic Mango in the chat.
Yeah.
Who says, I'm kind of excited to see what people do with it. What if Nintendo helps us with the sensors and people started building their own and encouraging a community where people can share? Now, that's an interesting concept, because that was something that I was thinking about as well, where you see with the maker community currently,
Right.
who have figured out ways to both make guns and also make other cool
Right.
stuff.
Yeah. Make controller cases.
Yeah,
and
make
everything
a
else,
whole
yeah.
bunch of really cool stuff
Right.
with their maker bots and other stuff like that. It would be really cool to see that translate into something that we see on the Labo side of thing. What they need to do, this would be the thing that sets them apart and also makes them every dollar on the planet, is besides making just the kits, the not DIY kits. I hate to call them DIY because they're not, like you said. The initial kits is making the maker for kits. So you make a template or something else that you can manufacture yourself. You get some corrugated cardboard from whatever, Home Depot or whatever.
Right.
And you can make the plans on your computer, and then they make something that you can actually make the diagrams with, so that you can start to craft your own stuff, like Mango was talking about. That would be a game changer.
So let me clear the air with one thing. I think this is a brilliant idea. Just like, I applaud the irony of this statement. Is not lost on me that I'm about to make. I applaud Nintendo for thinking outside of the box by introducing you to cardboard fucking boxes. Like I really, in all sincerity, I think it is a stroke of brilliance. I love the fact that it's going to be fun. That initial moment where you pull out this sheet of cardboard and you putting that thing together as a project for yourself and your significant other, or for yourself and your friends, or for yourself and your kids, like that project, and then playing with the fruits of your labor, and being able to do it in 5, 10, 15 minutes is going to be incredible, and that's going to be great. But my worry is that these things are not going to be durable enough for multiple playthroughs, and or like, in addition, except for the piano, like the piano I don't think is going to be available for multiple playthroughs. Right. But I also think that like you said, the use cases for this stuff is going to be so limiting that people may not want to revisit them after 1 or 2 times.
Right.
So, like, I don't know how many of you have gone out and spent 70 or $80 on a game that you played twice for a total of an hour or 2 hours and felt like you got great value out of it.
Right.
Like, you may have rich, memorable experiences, and maybe that's enough. But I don't see these things being durable enough for them to, subsist for, a month, even not even 6 months or 2 years. But it would be great if this thing turns, like, if the popularity of the Labo and the popularity of the Toy Cons is pushed out into the community, and the community is able to use these things in addition to their ability to code, Maybe this is what we see. Maybe what we see at E3 this year, and maybe I should say this for a prediction. Hashtag subnostication.
Oh, see, that's bullshit. You can't just throw it on there at the end.
Hashtag subnostication.
Fine.
What we will see at not at E3 because Nintendo's not at E3, but in a future Nintendo Direct after Labo becomes a success, after the Toy Cons become a success, we get to see the Toy Con Maker, like Mario Maker, where you're able to build Toy Con games within this one game, and then also build the cardboard construction kits that correlate with said game.
I want to see someone playing Nintendo Labo in a Lambo.
Labos?
Labo, liggity loo. Yeah.
Co-Labos. Yes.
Brought to you by Kanye West.
Yes.
And Rockefeller.
Yeah, fam. Yeah.
I do wonder. Well, here's the thing too. Is like I'm
in Cabo. Yes.
In Cabo. Yes. In Cabo. Yes. I think that there has to be. Like, are they going to set up like Labo recycling centers? Well, I mean, it's cardboard, so you can put it in your regular trash and like get it out of there once you're done with it. Right. And I do feel to a certain extent that it's actually a little bit better it's way better for the environment than we saw with the Rock Band stuff that had nothing but plastic guitars and keyboards and all that stuff. So that is fairly smart. I think that the idea behind it is going to sell like hotcakes because everyone loves Nintendo and they will buy anything that Nintendo does. Right. But it is pretty innovative for them to kind of go backwards, right? Go backwards in terms of tech, while leveraging the stuff that they already have in the world, which I think is pretty cool. I just hope that they think again outside the box, pun intended, by offering up ways for you to kind of customize the experience besides just coloring and putting stickers on it. And I do wonder how it's going to sell fairly well, because I would I can't front. I would want that kind of Ghostbuster proton pack robot thing. Like that looks kind of cool, but my fat ass ain't gonna fit into it but once. And then what if I sweat? If I sweat,
if you sweat, it's done.
It's gonna be all moist on my back.
Right. I'm
gonna have a moist Labo.
Yep.
Everyone get that trending on Twitter. Moist Labo.
Yeah. Moist Labos.
Labos.
Your Toy Con is wet. I got a wet Toy Con.
Speaking of that, another thought that I had was that I would love to have seen what the adult entertainment business would do with.
Oh my gosh.
With the Labo technology. I had that thought. It was one of the first things I thought. I was like, oh, somebody's gonna make a Labo fleshlight, and this is gonna be terrible.
It's cardboard. What was? Oh, ouch! Ouch!
I was like, it's gonna be real bad. You never know. People who have sex with freaking doorknobs and fucking gas pipes and shit.
Look, I'm not here to judge, man.
I'm not judging. I'm just drink this water real quick.
Right? Yeah. But like. So hackers, allegedly, hackers are really close to cracking the Switch OS. So maybe you will be able to get some bootleg versions of Toy Cons and some kind of toys to life in cardboard toys to life. I mean, look, here's the thing. We're talking about this shit. Yeah. We know it's going to sell incredibly well. Yeah. We're our mind is blown that they went this simplistic. It's ingenious in its simplicity. Kudos to them. If I had a hat on, I would tip my hat to them. I just realistically, I don't see how this will last beyond, a couple of uses. Question is, Kai, you've got a Switch. You love your Switch.
Yeah.
Have you pre-ordered?
Hell no. I'm not spending $60 to $70 on cardboard.
No, $70 to $80, son. Don't get it twisted.
Oh, you're right.
It's $70 for one where you get a bunch of things, and $80 for one where you get one thing.
I can't, and that's the thing, right? Is like one of the cool things I love about my Switch is that most of the games that I've been able to and experiences that I've been able to purchase on the system have been fairly reasonably priced. So like SteamWorld Dig 2 I bought the other day on the recommendation of from Daniel Dwyer over at NoClip. Shout out to Daniel Dwyer at NoClip.
Yeah.
And that's so far one of the best $20 I've spent in a long time. Like that game is fantastic, right? But I'm not like, I don't see myself going out and cosplaying cardboard in my house with stuff, with the cat issue, with the animal issue, with the sweat issue, with the like all the other parts that go along with it. Because you know what I would do though? If I did cop it, I would want to cop it with the understanding that I would be giving it to someone else who had a Switch and didn't want to spend the money. Right? Okay. So it's like
you would put it together and play with it once and then give it to somebody else?
I'd like play with it for a little bit and then
take the joy of them being able to build the thing away from them?
I would save them the $70 of having to spend for doing that thing.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? Like I don't like, yes, I think that people get the cool sense of like the tinkering part of putting it together, which I think is absolutely, half the price of it is like what getting to do that thing, or half the experience. But also there are people who just want the experience and they're like, I really wish I didn't have to spend $70 for this. Right. Like, I wish that there was a way to trade these things, and there probably will be. All the place going freaking Craigslist and be like, there's only
right. Well, yes. So you'd be able to I wonder how the software part works.
Yeah, they haven't talked about that.
Is there like a QR code or something that you scan or something I don't know how the Switch knows what Toy-Con you're playing with at that particular moment.
Yeah, I haven't seen much on that end that would give me any more information about how that actually works yet.
Right.
But I'll figure it out. I'm hoping that maybe somebody from the Nintendo team is listening, or we know some folks on the Nintendo side to like send us a version of it so we can like play around with it and check it out, because it would be interesting to see what the process is.
So they also sell the Labo customization kit, which comes with fun stencils, stickers, and colored tape.
Oh God, how much?
It's only $10.
Okay.
It's $10 on top of the price of everything else. Now, of course, you could get your own stencils and coloring tape and stickers and stuff like that. But I digress. What they're missing in that kit for $10 is some lotion, because you're gonna be messing around with all that damn cardboard, and your hands are gonna be dried up, and you're gonna wind up with paper cuts. And you will thank me for saying that you should go and get some lotion.
I think we should sell some some Burkago Band-Aids and see if we can corner the market. Have it all with our little emotes on it, and sell them joints out there just to make sure that we got our Burkago folks covered, and make sure that you don't have bloody Labos.
Right.
Oh God!
Right. Yes.
All right. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Labo situation. We'll see what happens, and that sounded really sinister. The Labo situation.
The Labo situation.
All of you home with your Labos.
Right.
We'll see. We'll see what transpires with the Labo Toy-Cons and all that stuff in the next couple of months. I'm waiting and hoping to see the high stream where somebody's high as fuck playing with their Labo, because it's gonna have to happen. Somebody's gonna make a bong.
Holla at your boy.
Someone's gonna make a bong out of that the first day with the one that's the fishing pole.
Bong cons.
Oh wow, bong cons. Yeah. So expect that at a child's party near you soon.
Right. 420 baby.
420 baby. Another thing that has popped up on the radar that you don't have to be high to enjoy is Overwatch League has been blowing the hell up over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I have been caught up in the whole thing as well. I've been peeping it on Twitch for the past couple of weeks. The folks over at SB Nation had an article out that talked about how Overwatch League is claiming that they had higher ratings in Thursday Night Football the past couple of weeks. They say the Overwatch League announced its opening week ratings on Wednesday, and they're bigger than anyone had imagined. An average of 280,000 viewers per minute watched the opening weekend, which beat out Thursday Night Football on streaming services for average viewers. At its peak, the Overwatch League had 437,000 concurrent viewers, averaging 408 on its opening day, according to Blizzard Entertainment. In comparison, the NFL had an average of 372,000 viewers on Amazon in 2017 and 243,000 on Twitter.
Right.
Those numbers alone are pretty fantastic and kind of astounding in a lot of ways. What are your thoughts about Overwatch League kind of busting through in this new way?
So they're also very misleading. 372,000 viewers on Amazon for Thursday Night Football. That is one of the places that you can watch Thursday Night Football. Twitch is also one of the places that you can watch Thursday Night Football. You know where else you can watch Thursday Night Football? On your TV, right, which is where people that are watching NFL football are primarily watching the NFL football. Now, to be fair, Thursday night ratings are just down across the board. NFL ratings are down across the board. But Thursday night is the redheaded stepchild of nights of football for the NFL, and to the point where they're wondering whether or not they should continue this season-long Thursday nights that they've been doing for the last few years. All that being said, Overwatch has been a phenomenon. This Overwatch League has been a phenomenon. We talked about it briefly last week about the app releasing, and the first day numbers came in where they had 400,000 users on there, and that's remarkable. And it's only going to go up. As people talk about the stories and that's where it's really going to hit that critical mass, is when people come back and they're relaying the stories of the events that are happening during the league to their friends, to their colleagues, to people that are non-gamers, but enjoy the drama of sports and the action of sports. As they turn them on to these types of things, this is where esports is going to take off. And I'll tease you guys a little bit. If you're not one of our patrons and don't listen to our Spawn on Me After Darks, Sharif and I talked about esports, and we did talk about this being the year of esports, so that I really do think that esports is going to come together in a very big way in 2018, to the point where it almost hits the mainstream. Right. Like they're already on ESPN2 at on the Ocho for late night things and that kind of stuff. But I really honestly believe that we will start seeing blocks of time on the main network in maybe not prime time, but close to prime time slots to tell these types of stories and to show these types of events, because it is generating revenue and it is generating interest with demographics that networks and advertisers want to that they want to reach. So the under 30 crowd is watching esports at a much higher rate overall than they're watching traditional sports.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm finding that are pulling me in while watching this stuff, and it's interesting because I am not that big of an Overwatch fan. I love the game. I feel like I've fallen off really hard from it because I've been playing other stuff. But the production values have been fantastic. It's interesting because like the stuff that I would watch and I usually watch in terms of esports from the ESL and stuff like that are
the FGC
or
stuff.
FGC stuff, and it's always fighting game stuff more specifically. But this has really captured my brain because I'm just like, wow, if you do this well, great broadcasters, great shoutcasters, make everything look really good, have the production there, have the teams be known entities at this point because they've all been made into their own teams and they're kind of regional at this point. There is a lot of space in here for this to get bigger and to continue to grow. I wonder though, with the lack of more people of color and women especially, if this does break through in a way that it could have if it did have that bigger audience and those and more people to root for. It's like the Olympics, right? It's like you root for the people who have the kind of interesting stories and why they are there and stuff. So I wonder if they expand that out, how that's going to look in the future. But for now, they're kicking a lot of ass, and I keep coming back to it. Do you feel like the league is going to run into some weird shortfall because of that lack of diversity in that respect? Do you feel like it's gonna not really hit the masses because it doesn't really appeal to everyone in that same way?
Unfortunately, no. And and so it is inexcusable that one of the top players in the world in Overwatch wasn't picked up by a team simply because when she goes to the bathroom she always sits down or maybe she squats. But yeah, I heard squatting is dope in 2018. That's what I've heard.
What?
But, I don't know. I mean, I'm just reporting on what I've heard. So, but all jokes aside, it is inexcusable that one of the best players in the world wasn't picked up by a team, and that will change. Not that it has to change, it just will. So they'll go through this season. They've heard these stories. It will happen. She will be picked up. You won't have to go too long. She won't age out before she's on a team and she's doing well and she's kicking ass. And diversity will come. All of those things will come because they don't have it almost seems hypocritical to say what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. They don't hold the same prejudices to the same level that traditional sports had, for forever almost. Like it was 60 years into baseball's existence before the very first player of color was allowed to play with white players. It was 30 years into, or actually 20 years into the existence of the NBA, basically before players of color were of prominence in the NBA, and black quarterbacks. There was one black quarterback in the 70s. He won his first 14 games, but wasn't allowed to play quarterback the following season. And, we had questions about whether or not a black person had the mental capability to play the quarterback position into the 90s. Right. Those types of things won't happen. Those won't exist in Overwatch. We'll deal with this stuff for a season, and then things will start to change, and then things will rapidly change after that. And so I will preach patience. I will say that it is unfortunate. I will say that it's inexcusable, but I will also say that if we're patient, because the stories are out there, those things will change, and they will change naturally.
There was a great sentiment shared in the chat. I want to read that off really quick. Psych Stash says the whole Overwatch situation is sad because they had the opportunity to establish inclusion right off the bat, but now it's like a barrier that has to be broken down. Yeah, I get that. It makes a lot of sense. Right?
Sure.
It's like you could have done that off the bat and then had that as a secondary story, or not even. It might not have even have been a story.
It shouldn't be a story. Right. It shouldn't be a story. Right. These are players. Right. The story should be, hey, esports is legitimate. It's sports. It's it's legitimate that that players are able to go out there and it's the most talented players that are out there, irrespective of their gender or their cultural background. That's what it is.
The only thing I do worry about when it comes to having women in the fold, when it comes to having them on these particular teams, is that they have their training camps or their training houses and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I do wonder if there is the thought about harassment or thought about dudes being dudes and trying to push up or any of that stuff that the companies or the teams feel like they don't want to necessarily get close to. And that's a shitty thing to think about in those terms. Well, but it is kind of like, hey,
let me ask you a question.
Humans in tight quarters do dumb shit.
Right. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever played organized sports?
Yeah.
To like at certain level, like I didn't play collegiate organized sports, but I did play in high school. The thing that you notice about when you're on a team, when you're on a serious team,
right,
is that you don't care who your players are. You don't care who your teammates are, where they came from, who they are, what they do, how they look, all that stuff, what their sexual orientation is. All you care about is, can they play?
Sure.
Maybe I'm ever the optimist, but I believe that players on a team, when you've only got 5-6 players, maybe you have 5 and an alternate. When you're on a team and you're training hours and hours and hours on end, maybe initially you look at, oh, it's a girl, she's got curves and whatever. But eventually you're just out there and you're teammates.
Right.
And you won't do something that is out of bounds to your teammate because it jeopardizes the chemistry of your team, and it jeopardizes your standing on the team and you desperately want to be there. And it also jeopardizes the team standing within the league.
Right.
So I personally, I believe that you're less likely to receive any type of unwanted advances or harassment, whether it be from the male to the female or from the female to the male within the team structure. It's more likely to happen from a team on the outside to that team. And that kind of stuff happening, and all that does is solidify the group as combatants to fight for one goal.
Yeah, I can agree. I've been on enough teams to be able to say that is true. I'm always thinking about the way that people actually interact sometimes, and some of those things. I feel like they might have tried to safeguard themselves against the thing that they didn't need to, and therefore cause themselves more grief than they should have.
Sure.
But it will be interesting to see when that barrier is broken, who that first player is, and see what the reception will be to her or them when it does actually go through the process of getting into that league. So I personally hope a big deal is not made of it. Yeah.
It's significant. It should have happened from the jump, as someone said, like Psych Stash said in the chat. But if Me Too and Time's Up have been training people anything, if they've trained us in any way, shape, or form, is that let's just normalize gender equality. So let's not make a big deal out of the fact that it's the sure, it's a footnote in history, yes, but like we shouldn't have to hold a parade because there is a woman playing in what should be a co-ed league.
Right.
I think there's there is no physical advantage for a man or a woman playing Overwatch.
No.
So let's just play. She's there. They're there. Let's play.
Word. And I'm curious to see what happens when that does happen, and I'll be happy for it because it needs to be there. Right. And it will just make that league even more welcoming to everyone who wants to watch it and be involved in it. So, word, get on your shit, Overwatch League, and hurry up and get that stuff done.
Yeah, but keep doing what you're doing because they are holding the torch right now. Because not only is the gaming press talking about this, I was just reading an article today in the Washington Post about the Overwatch League. Yeah. So the mainstream media, the fake news media, won Fake News Awards. They are also paying attention bigly. So because they're paying attention, that means people that aren't in the gaming space are also, their ears are starting to perk up to what this is. So Overwatch is carrying the torch for all of esports in a certain way, whether they want to or not. Yeah. Blizzard obviously has the professionalism and the capital to produce a top-notch, state-of-the-art tournament. So this is going to be the thing that really, really helps legitimize esports in the mainstream. So keep it going.
Word. Speaking of keeping it going, we're going to move to the next piece of news for the week before we hit our break. And it looks like Twitch is trying to take YouTube's cake right now. YouTube, if you've been paying attention to it, and if you are a content creator, you'll definitely be paying attention to it, has been talking about changing the metrics in which you will be able to monetize your videos. It seems to be coming off the heels of the Logan Paul incident, where he had so many millions of subscribers and had his incident of filming a dead body in the Japanese suicide forest. That story, if you have not heard of it, go look it up. Or
don't.
Or don't. So Twitch, interestingly enough, has now put out this blog post. Maybe it was a couple days ago, or actually no, it was today actually, where they have started to give producers. I like to call us all producers at this point because we're all content creators. A new set of tools that will enable them to both upload content like they did with their vodcast beta. But also do a couple things that are called premieres and reruns. So what you'll be able to do is, if you have new content, you'll be able to put it up like if you were doing it on YouTube. All the monetization versions of ways that you'll be able to monetize stuff on your Twitch stream, bits, subscriptions, or gifted subscriptions, all those things will still be available to you. But you can break out stuff that's just directly to your audience, like you were doing it from YouTube. Manage it all from the back end and the dashboard, and do all the stuff that you kind of could do before on YouTube, now on Twitch, and be able to kind of do it well. That's really interesting because it feels like now they are definitely checking on the way that YouTube was kind of screwing people and saying, come this way, right, and come and see if you can do this stuff on Twitch better. That plus, they just did a deal with some of the biggest YouTube folks, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and some other folks who are going to do straight up new content, just content that is directly for Twitch, on Twitch, using these processes. See, what are your thoughts about the kind of video producer tools stuff that they're kind of doing, and how they're trying to get in YouTube's pockets?
Well, Twitch is big time now. They've got Amazon money, and that Amazon money is second or third only to Google or Apple but maybe if Jeff Bezos has anything to say about it, he is the richest man in the world now. He's the richest man in the history of the world now. So they've got the money, they've got the tools, they're serious business. The thing that I think about is everything old becomes new again, because hey guys, remember Justin TV? That's what Twitch was before it was Twitch, and Justin TV sounds eerily similar to what Twitch is proposing to do right now, which is perfectly fine. They've found a business model with streaming video games and streaming this content that made them incredibly popular. That has made Twitch incredibly popular. We're here right now, and it's doing phenomenally well. And now it is time. They started basically with gamifying real life games, like people doing yoga and all the other stuff. They branched out to talk shows that have to do with gaming, and now they're moving towards just legitimate content from content creators. I think this is a great opportunity for people that have always wanted to get involved in content creation and don't necessarily want to throw their cup of water into the ocean that is YouTube.
Yeah.
This is a giant lake now, Twitch is, but it's not the ocean.
Yeah.
And YouTube is most certainly the ocean. So if you want to go someplace where teams are courting you and they've got the financial backing of a major organization like Amazon, you can come here to Twitch and be a smaller fish in a much smaller pond than being a guppy in the Atlantic over on YouTube. So kudos to everyone involved, and the best of luck to all of our future content creators that are out there.
I'm more interested to see what's going to happen when you have the breakout Twitch content creator, because it's interesting to see how that's going to work, where a lot of people, you're going to get the first influx of folks who are the main YouTubers. PewDiePie already has his channel. Right. I'm sure Markiplier is going to come over with his channel because they're already giving him space to be able to do that stuff. The interesting part is the money, because on Twitch, although Twitch definitely gets a cut of your money when you get bits, or you get a donation, or you get tips, or any of the subscriptions, any of that stuff, it is a way higher yield than if you were to do your stuff on YouTube specifically and aren't hitting your numbers. So you can be on stream for 2 hours if you have enough people who like your stuff and who want to see a premiere, or they can still even, give you residual money when they're looking at a rerun or anything else when you're not even there. And you'll get more money if you have enough people who want to donate during your Twitch stream. That's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out for most people who didn't find their ability to kind of do that work over at YouTube, and also felt like, the barrier was way too high for the amount of money that you were going to wind up getting back in revenue. It's like AdSense, where you didn't get half the amount of money from most of the work that you did. So that's going to be real interesting to see how that plays itself out. I think that's going to be real cool to see people who are either already making good money on YouTube, see if they transfer over, or new folks who didn't feel like they could get into the space before, feeling like, hey, I want to make all this stuff, and I want to see how I'm going to be able to do it in a place that's going to kind of not pay me, but feels like my work is more warranted here.
Sure. The value, they value you more.
Right.
Here than you're valued at YouTube, because, and YouTube people, YouTube was built on content creation.
Sure.
And once people started becoming famous for making content there, and that became the place, then your value as an individual lessened. No matter how big you were,
Sure.
your value was less, because there were, for every one of you, there was literally 1,000 more people with the same number of subscribers as you that was out there doing stuff. So if you left, there were still 999 more people that YouTube could make money off of to replace you and your value. And here at Twitch, it's probably 500 or maybe 250. And so your inherent value is greater here.
The one thing I'm actually really especially excited about with all this coming is it may be the thing that is the catalyst to the dream that I had about wanting to make the black G4 TV here.
Okay.
Because Twitch, because YouTube, you would have to build up that following in a very different way, right? And there isn't a lot of cross collaboration that you'd be able to do. With Twitch, with the addition of teams and communities and things like that, you could definitely Labo, TM, TM, in a way that is better on this platform than you could on the other one. So I'm TMing that now. Black G4 is going to come back, and we're going to figure out a way to make it happen with the help of some of you out in podcast and Twitch land. But I think it's going to be really cool to see what's going to happen. And you may see some original content from us. You may see it from other folks that you know, especially because they know that it'll have a place to be actually viewed, and they'll have a landing page for it. So we're going to jump over to our break. I'm going to be gone for 2 minutes or so, 2.5, get some water, get some 2 and 2. Chuck Woolery is a racist. Anyway, we'll be back in a minute. Welcome back, everybody. We just had our break. This is episode 204 of the Spawn on Me podcast. Again, thank you everyone for hanging out on the Twitch stream, everyone listening to us in podcast land. We're going to dig back a little bit, go back a year and talk about some of the predictions that we had going back from last year and see how well we did. So I'm going to let C take control and tell me how wrong I was from a year ago.
So we're going to go back into the past. Nobody gets that reference because it's from Wayne's World, and we're, you guys are young and we're old. So anyway, we had our first prediction show last year in 2017. Myself, Reef, and Kyle were on the show. We all had predictions, and the way we did it was we didn't go round robin, because round robin indicates that we start with one person and then you flip back and you go, play fantasy football. You understand what it is. But anyway, we all took turns with one prediction. We had 2 predictions each, and then one stretch wild prediction. So how do you want me to do this, Ka? Do you want me to give all of the predictions first, and then tell you which were what the reality to those predictions were?
Yeah, let's do it that
Or
way.
do you want? Oh, okay, all right,
let's
all
do it
right.
that way.
So my first prediction was that the Nintendo Switch would be priced at $279.99. We all know how that turned out. Reef's first prediction was that the VR headsets will be priced at $300. He got close.
Yeah, he was pretty close.
He got close. The Rift with the touch, with the Oculus Touch hand grips controllers is now priced at $399.99. So that was pretty good. So yeah. Well done, man. I don't know if we're giving out half points. I was $20 off, so maybe I get 3/4 points.
Well, the look on his face right now, he doesn't look really enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
Exactly. He doesn't give a shit. Ka's first prediction was that there would be a new SKU for the PSVR with new form factor, maybe a wireless VR or breakout box. So Kai, I just want to tell you there was a new SKU, but it was just a bundle. So yeah, there you go. You give the weakest dabs ever for your whack ass prediction.
Shout out to Dave Lang, the best dabber in the business.
Oh, all right, no doubt, no doubt. It was the time that Mike Myers had a career. Shout out to you, Bass Perfect, because that was amazing. Or is it Base Perfect? I don't know. Is it Base Perfect or Bass Perfect? I'm not sure about that.
We'll figure
apologies.
Keep going.
Apologies. Yes. Second prediction for me was that Scorpio, as it was called at the time, the Xbox One Infinite, as it should have been called, but the Xbox One X, as is now called. I said it would be sub $500, but my guess was $399.99, and I gave this very eloquent and impassioned rationale for why it would be. They didn't follow my advice, and of course, priced it at $499.99. It was still sub $500, half a point to Gryffindor. Reef said that the Switch will launch. It will launch at $250, and it won't be a success out of the gate because of the price, but they will start to make money around the holiday season. The Switch, of course, was $299.99, and it's the fastest selling console in America in console history. So Reef was wrong. Ka, your second prediction was that the best-selling fighting game of 2017 would be Injustice 2. Injustice 2, ladies and gentlemen, is the only fighting game in the top 10 for game sales in 2017. Ka gets a full point. Dab it up, bruh. Congratulations. You got that.
It's a constipated dab. See, that shit hurt my neck.
Yeah, right on time. Yeah, you might bust your ankle dabbing right now. But yeah, so you went, yes. Yeah,
I'm go sorry. 2 for 2?
Yes. Yeah, base, my bad. So you did not go 2 for 2. You did not go 2 for 2. You went 1 for 2.
It's a new SKU. The new SKU was right. It's a new SKU. You said new SKU. Well, then I got mine right because I said it would be sub $500. So that's reasonable. The Russian judge says it's okay.
Right. All right. Yeah. Okay. There was no collusion. No collusion with Russia. No collusion. So now we get into crazy territory. We get into our stretch goals, our stretch predictions for 2017. I'm going to read Kaz. No, you know what? Reef's not here, so I'm going to read Reef's first. So Reef's a bastard, right? I love him like a brother, but he's a bastard. This was his stretch prediction that Microsoft and Sony, their last E3 would be E3 2017. Now, the problem with that is that it'd be almost impossible to predict until June of 2018.
Right.
Except we already know that Microsoft has announced that they're already planning for E3 2018.
True.
So they will definitely be there. And it would be news by now if Sony was not also going to be at E3 2018 because they have to reserve their space. So if they were not renewing their space, someone would find out, and that would be news. So my assumption is that Sony will also be there. Ka, I will go to your prediction, your stretch prediction from last year. You said Red Dead Redemption 2 will have. Oh, first off, you cheated because you said you're gonna have double prediction because you went last.
Yeah.
Screw that noise. And that's exactly what you said too when we complained about it then.
Double yeah.
Right. So Red Dead Redemption 2 will have VR, and a major character will be, as you said, black.
Blick.
Yes, there will be a black major character. Now, nobody knows. I put question marks in.
We can't find
this
out.
one. Right, because we know literally nothing. Not so. Since we received that teaser trailer in 2016, have we seen anything?
Nope.
On Red Dead Redemption?
Nope.
So it has been 15 months, and we have seen zero about this game.
Yeah, I think they had like that secondary. It was a teaser trailer, and then they had like a really small secondary trailer. Or was that?
Yeah, it was like a second. No, it was a secondary trailer with like animals.
Yeah. And then they showed like the dude talking, the main protagonist talking,
right,
and some of that stuff. Yeah, there were two trailers. One to show the world,
right.
One to show the characters. Right.
Right. And you know, we don't. The assumption is that this game will be out. This game will be out this year, but we really don't know. So we don't know if your prediction will come true, or if it won't. So you know, we have to hold out on that. But your boy, the one and only, the great Stubnosticator, his stretch prediction was, much as to the chagrin of some people that we know, Destiny 2 will sell well, but will lose players' mind share / interest. So, Destiny 2 sold incredibly well, but people are complaining, and people are not playing.
Raise your hand if you've lost interest in Destiny 2.
Right. So, and so the ironic thing about it is, I said in the episode, which is episode 146 of the Spawn on Me podcast, is actually listening back to it. It was a really fun episode. So if you guys want to take a trip down memory lane, I implore you to go and do so. What I said was that Destiny 2 will suffer much like The Division has in that it will sell well, and then it would just drop off a cliff in terms of people playing the game. And the irony is that a lot of people have left Destiny 2 to pick up The Division.
Yeah, it's true.
So The Division, as we talked about last week, this 1.8 update is really, really good. I've kind of renewed my interest in the game. Now, I said last week that I spent, I think the previous Sunday playing it for hours, probably six or 7 hours on that Sunday. I haven't played it since, but I think about it and I'm like, oh yeah, that was fun. I hope like I can get three of my friends together and we can play it again someday soon.
Yeah.
So, the game is infinitely more fun when you have people that you know and trust and can communicate effectively with to play, much like these games want to do. So 1 point for me, definitely, or 2 points for me because it's a stretch one. That was, that was blasphemous to say.
Stretching out these damn points, I see.
Yeah, it was blasphemous to say that Destiny 2 would not be the juggernaut that the original Destiny was in January of 2017, but I did it. I was bold enough to do it, and I was correct. Yeah.
You can just, for people who can't see the Twitch stream,
yeah.
Stubby Stan is patting himself on the back. Not even patting himself on the back. He is doing the Mr. Perfect move right now. Patting himself on the back. Good Lord.
Yes.
Well, what about 2018 predictions?
So what about 2018 predictions? That is the case. We're missing two people. I was really excited. I thought maybe we'd have all four of us, but that is not to be. But for our 4th anniversary, you and I will sit down and we will talk about it. We will do it the exact same way. We will alternate. We will go one prediction, second prediction, and a stretch prediction. Then I will let you go first.
All right. My first prediction. I'm going to take a page out of the Stubnostication can and say that the 2K League, the mashup between the NBA and NBA 2K, will be a huge failure.
Really? Wow.
I do not think that the 2K League is going to pop off like people are saying it is going to be. I don't have lots of faith in it for multiple reasons. Some of them being because I just don't know. I just don't think that game is going to show as well like we've seen with games like Overwatch or stuff like that have very defined ways to win and very defined goals and teams and players and roles. I don't think 2K and basketball are going to be able to do that kind of thing. And I also think that combined with that we're going to see a pretty good reduction in sales for 2K next year.
Really?
I don't think that they are going to overtake. I don't think that NBA Live is going to overtake them. I do think that they will see a drop in sales, significant drop in sales next year. Because a lot of folks who are really heavy on 2K this year, they felt like they got burned real hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that that's going to drop. You see?
All right. So is it cheating for me to say the thing that I've already said as my first prediction, the first prognostication of 2018, that Nintendo's Toy Cons, there will be at some point during the course of the year, there will be a Nintendo Direct where they talk about the Toy Con Maker game, where you can make rudimentary games for your Toy Cons that are addendums to the existing games that are out and give the community the ability, to create patterns and potential Toy Cons for the community.
Okay.
So
that's a good one.
right.
My next one is going to be that we will see at least 2 to 3 more Battle Royale-esque games pop up in 2018 to try to surpass Fortnite and to surpass PUBG. And I think that one might be a contender, but Fortnite is probably going to win out.
So you're saying that Fortnite will be the ultimate Battle Royale winner?
The way that Epic has been maneuvering and kind of positioning that game, I don't see PUBG taking it over in the same way. They hit, I think, 40 million players.
Yeah.
For a mode that they didn't really even have in the hopper. That was They just made their own prototype and decided they wanted to go with it, and it's doing amazingly well. They had like 2 million people on at the same time the other day. It's madness what that game is doing right now, and I don't see it going downhill anytime soon.
Right.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Okay. All right. Fortnite is the winner.
Fortnite is going to be the BR winner.
Okay. So in much the same fashion, talking about Battle Royale games, my second prediction is that PUBG will go 1.0 before E3 or at E3 for the Xbox It will go cross-platform or multi-plat this year in 2018. Probably November is my guess. And at some point during the course of this year, after it is 1.0, we will see a legitimate tournament from PUBG, from Bluehole, whether it's sponsored by Microsoft or co-sponsored by Microsoft, but there will be a legitimate PUBG tournament this year, and it will change the game. It will change the esports game forever.
That's going to be really interesting. So that was your stretch?
No, that was my second prediction.
That was your second prediction. Okay.
That was my second prediction. So now I got I got mad shit for y'all. Yo.
Oh man, the stretch one's going to be hard. That's going to be real nuts. Let's see. I think that we are going to see, for a stretch goal or for a stretch prediction, we are going to see rumblings or at least a conversation about the new PlayStation past the Pro sometime in late 2018. Sometime in late 2018, there will be rumblings about either new spec or new hardware being done in China, or some new version of the hardware, and not a refresh, but a new system.
Okay. So nothing official, but rumors galore.
Yeah, the rumors are going to start. The rumors.
Right,
I mean, you get them every year, but the rumors are going to start real hard towards the end of the year.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So my stretch one is I didn't. So before I talk about my stretch goal, okay, you've actually talked about the 2K League, but in the Twitch chat, someone asked about what the 2K League is. So for those of you in Chicago that don't know what the 2K League is, there are several NBA teams that have joined together with 2K Sports, with NBA 2K, to have a league of actual 2K basketball players that will be drafted and signed to play on official NBA teams to play 2K. And they will travel with the real team to other locations. So when the Knicks go to Memphis to play the Grizzlies, the Knicks E-League team would also go to Memphis and play the E-League Memphis Grizzlies team. And there will be a draft, and they will have agents, and they will sign sign contracts. All of that would happen like it's the actual league. And and they would have a championship, and they would continue to play year in and year out. So this is a way for 2K Sports and traditional sports video games to get into esports in a real way. It's kind of a big deal going forward. So my stretch prediction is that this is the year that Microsoft announces VR support for the Xbox One X at E3, and they show how it works. They will announce not a partnership with Oculus per se, but they will be demoing VR games on the One X with Oculus Rift hardware.
So you don't think they're going to go HoloLens?
No, I don't think we will see HoloLens at E3 this year.
Okay.
We didn't see, there was no mention of HoloLens at CES, as far as I know. I don't know where they are with the tech. It would be interesting to see what they could do with HoloLens, but I think at this point, HoloLens is way too expensive for them to realistically make it available even as a peripheral for the Xbox family of consoles.
Okay. So everybody at home, you have our predictions for now. Hopefully we'll be able to get Reef and Tanya into the mix somehow,
Right,
and get some of their predictions in a later show. But we want to hear what you all have to say at home. Definitely shout us out on Twitter. Use the hashtag 2018 SOM predict.
yes.
Use that as the hashtag 2018 SOM predict.
Yeah, let me know what your predictions are.
Yeah, so we can maybe track some of that stuff and then share what we have had and see how much of your crazy predictions match up with ours and which ones made it into the actual real world. And we're probably going to do that in the next week. So let's see if we can get all that stuff together and share some of that information on social media, on our Facebook pages, and all that good stuff. But for now, we're going to get up out of here for episode 204. Hit everybody with the social media business, please.
Social media is, you're of course, sir. Social media business is as follows. Check us out on all the social media spaces at Spawn on Me. If you want our personal information, it is in the bio. Check us out on our homepage, spawnon.me or esn.fm/spawnonme. Our podcast is available on all your favorite podcatchers. If it's a place where you can rate and review, please do so. If obviously subscribe. Obviously, please tell your friends. It really, 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 really helps. Twitch.tv/Spawn on Me. Come here every Thursday, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. And watch us live. Watch our beautiful faces. We get all gussied up for you. Kaz wearing that dope Paragon hat right now. It's got metal on it. It's fly. Oh yes. Oh, and you missed the worst dabbings ever. If you don't watch the stream. Also, if you want to send us an email, go to spawnonmepodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget, as you're sitting around and you're figuring out, how can I support these guys even more? Go to our Patreon, patreon.com/spawnonme. Donate as little as $1. And you, too, you can get Spawn on Me After Dark and the upcoming Chicago Beltway.
Word. Yeah, we have some really good stuff coming up. I have some ideas about who we want to have on the show. We just have to make sure that we can get those folks together and on the show with us. Definitely have this on your calendars. February 1st is the first day of Black History Month. We will be on the front page of Twitch that night. It is a Thursday, our usual time. So again, we'll be on the front page of Twitch for something pretty cool. We can't say yet, but we will soon. But definitely make sure that you share that out. Make sure you put it on your calendars and make sure that you are paying attention and come hang out with us on the 1st, especially on that night to celebrate the first day and night of Black History Month. And you can see me dab. Somebody clip this. Dab. Dab. Clip my dabs. Anyway.
Clip my dabs.
Clip my dabs. Again, everybody, thank you so much for coming through and hanging out tonight here in Podcast Land and on Twitch. We love you all, and we will say peace.
Happy anniversary. Peace.